Pimple patch and politics. Okay. So, it's the first week. Well, first proper week on a calendar, I want to say, of January 2025. So first full week of the year. It's January 11th at 10:26 and p.m. If that wasn't clear by the darkness. But yeah, I wanted to make a video log of this first week in the new year, because 2025 is we're 11 days in, and it's been the most eventful year. It's been a whole year already. It doesn't need to continue every day. Breaking news, not regular news, not accidents, not, basic crime. It's been insane crime. It's been wildfires. It's been insane politics. The orange man isn't even in office. Today or yesterday, whatever, the orange man actually got convicted. So, a convicted felon is going to be around the country. It doesn't even make any sense. I guess they wanted to display some sort of, justice. Maybe the image of justice by convicting him. No community service, no jail time, no prison, nothing. No, I guess the only penalty is he can't own a gun. I mean, not much of a penalty, really. What was the point? But this is not about that orange man. I didn't want to start out with that, I guess. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit scared. Well, I'm not scared, but I'm concerned. I don't think my nervous system registered scared. Not scared, per se. I think all my anxiety kind of wore out after last year. I was a lot more anxious. I think these days I'm more apathetic, but that's because it's winter and emotions are quite dull right now. But I'm not panicking, at least. Yeah, I'm not panicking, but I am concerned. Concerned about the crime, because obviously it's like the most insane shit. Like, there's 2 different subway stabbers, one of which has been arrested well over a dozen times, well over 2 dozen times, and was still roaming the streets. I don't know. I have my theories about why that is, but those don't matter. What matters is the fact that these people are on the street, and then there's 2 of them. They're not the only 2, but there was just 2 this week. Well, since this year started alone, 2 subway stabbers, multiple victims. 14-year-old kid died on his way to school. See, you just walk into school, you're not doing anything. Like, these are not sensible crimes. They're not stealing anything. They're not robbing. They're not targeting people they know or whatever. They're just crashing out, and it's clearly, well, there's clear mental illness there. And I'm not talking some mild shit like depression. I'm not talking that. These people are not depressed. They have personality disorders. Clearly. Like severe mental illness. And has clearly been like on a rampage for like a long time now. Some decades, some a whole lifetime. And we live in a system that doesn't cater to that. So we have to deal with, random crimes. You don't know when you're going to be attacked. You can't let your guard down for a second outside. On my way home today, just a couple hours ago, I'm on my way home and I had to cross the damn street. Why? Because they had a whole block blocked off. Yellow tape. Cop cars. Cops. I don't know what happened this time. This is like the fifth freaking time I've been in that spot alone, by that little corner store that is probably selling crack and shit. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing drugs, gang activity. There's a lot of activity in that one little corner store. I never step in there. I've never purchased anything there for a day in my life because it always looked sketchy, and they always had, people, men, loitering there. Clearly it's not somewhere you want to go. So I never went in there. Never patroned that place. And since the last 4 years, there's been multiple crimes there. There's been a shootout there twice. There's been a lot of gun activity just outside my door. Literally outside the building. Man got shot 10 times. Right outside the building. He died so quick there was no blood. So quick there was no blood out there. So, that should tell you all you need to know. We in the ghetto. Ra-ta-ta-ta. And again, joking about it because that was like a year or two ago. And just a couple months ago, there was other crimes, gun involved, gang related, people dying, all around the block, just right in, smack in my vicinity. Smack in there. Then an influx of package stealing. And I don't mean around the holiday times, because that's to be expected. But no, it's just year round. They've just been stealing packages. In fact, I don't think I've known a time in this building where they weren't stealing packages. We really are in the ghetto. Really are in the ghetto. I do see a couple white people. Well, if I look out the window, there's a white couple. They're new. They came last year. They're new. And they don't believe in curtains. What's up with white people not believing in curtains? Curtains are cheap. Ooh, curtains are cheap. They don't believe in curtains, blinds, privacy. I keep seeing this man coming out, just going by the window to smoke. And it's tidy whities. And I'm just seeing things I shouldn't be seeing. I don't need to see all that. I feel violated. My eyes are violated. See, I can't open my window and get a little light. Because there's a white man out there in his drawers. But oh yeah, I saw another white kid around here, just walking around casually. Like, first of all, there's no businesses around here. It's like a residential area. There's like no, oh yeah, I'm coming to do my taxes or whatever. I'm coming to go to the start. There's no businesses really here. There's no businesses or like places to frequent. There's like, it's just a residential area. If you know Brooklyn, you understand. There's nothing here to see. There's nothing to see here. Absolutely nothing. So that just means they live here. And I can't imagine why. Like, are they that down bad that they're in the ghetto? Like, they're so like, it's not a good place. I don't want to be here. You're moving here. Hate to say it, you know, gentrification is wild. It's wild. I saw some hippie looking older white lady. She looks about in her 40s, and I'm just like, you should be in Bushwick. And then I saw an Asian girl. She was quite pale, had the thickest looking cargos, like middle class pants going on, and a middle class puppy with a middle class leash. Upper middle class. Why are you here? I would not volunteer to live here. It doesn't even look good. First of all, you know those little tree things, the tree blocks on the block. Like, you know, the triangles, rectangles that the trees are in on the block, on the sidewalk. All of them got shit in it. All of them got the biggest dookie you can see, the biggest dog shit. Because the people here don't care. They care so little about their community that they don't pick up after their big ass fucking dog. And these are big dogs because these are big shits. Like, they're bigger than human shit. They're bigger than any shit that's ever came out of my body. So you know these are big dogs. They have big dogs. They volunteered to get big dogs that they're not cleaning up after. You're not gonna clean up after the dog. Don't get a dog. Don't get a dog. That's why I don't have a dog. That's why I would never consider having a dog as long as I live in the city. Because I don't want to clean up dog shit. You can't just leave it in the piles. There's like, and on some blocks, you look inside oh my god, you don't even have to look for it. You find it. The entire square by the tree is filled with dog shit. There's like multiple shits there. In fact, it's more shit than dirt at this point. The little dirt there can't even metabolize. The word escapes me. It's almost left in my brain. It's not working right. That soil can't even break down that shit. It can't use that. It's more shit than soil. It can't use that. It can't use that much. It's like overload. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm in the ghetto. We laugh to keep from crying. Yeah. Nikki Giovanni's dead, and I don't like that. That's a topic for another day. I'll speak on that another day. Do a proper tribute to her. But yeah, I don't know. I am in the kitchen talking to a camera right now. Why? Because, and I failed to introduce why I'm doing this. For record purposes, for myself, for journalism purposes. Because I can't write. I've been journaling most of my life. since I got taken off of autopilot. So I want to say about 7. I don't know when I started, but I started really young, really young. And recently, as of the last year and a couple of months, I've been journaling less. Why? I am disabled. Recently disabled. It's to a point. It's been over a year now of being injured, of chronic pain. And at a point I could not physically write. Nerve issues, muscular issues, neck issues, shoulder issues, upper back issues. A lot of issues. And I can't write. Well, I can't write for long now. I can write now. If I write 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it aggravates the pain. It triggers the tingling, and can't do that. Can't risk it, so can't journal like I would like. Can't journal like I usually do. So I'm doing video logs to keep a record for myself of these times. We're living in unprecedented times. Not times of peace, times of war. Times of strife. Insane wealth inequality, poverty, crime. And I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to be here and do my thing and be a person. But it's hard. I must note I am not a hijabi. I just drape my scarf like this because I don't want to show my hair. And it's nighttime, and this is my scarfy scarf. It's just not tied on my head right now. So excuse what it may look like. Don't wanna be misappropriating religious headwear. That's not what this is. Yeah, that's not what this is. Oh! It's just, I'm trying to hide what's on my shirt. I should have just changed the shirt, but it is what it is. Should have just changed the shirt. It's too late now. I don't endorse what's on the shirt, but I was saying something. Oh yeah, disability. Recently disabled. I hate even calling it that. Recently disabled. Right. Recently disabled. No, it's not funny. I took all that time fixing the damn camera. However. Right. So I'm doing these logs because I can't write. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer. It's annoying. Even Because what started out as a pretty mild injury, it just worsened over time. And you know why it worsened? Because they refuse, my insurance company, my insurance refuses to approve a fucking MRI. Yeah. Even after weeks of doing physical therapy, and the physical therapy actually made it worse. That they wanted physical therapy, and even an X-ray, and all of this excess things before to be eligible for an MRI. And even after I did all of that, no MRI. No MRI. I did get a different insurance. Health insurance, and it's supposed to be better. So there's a pending MRI right now. Just put in for one. Let's see if it gets approved. Did that sometime around the Christmas. Either before, I think it was before Christmas, right? Before Christmas. Either before or after, I don't remember. No, it was before Christmas. It is now January 11th, as I said, and I've heard nothing back. I'm gonna reach out. There's nothing on the website or whatever, the My Chart, because that's what they use. And I don't know the status of my MRI. Well, it's pending, that's the status. Yeah. That's what they do to you here in America. Refuse the MRIs you clearly need. Send you to physical therapy to get worse, you know? Because how can you treat an issue when you don't know what the issue is? It's almost like that's a bad idea. I've only gotten worse over time. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. Sometimes it fluctuates, certainly. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. And of course, I had problems with the physical therapy offices themselves, because they're like these annoying chain thingies. It's not like, oh yeah, you have one physical therapist who takes their time with you and whatever, and they see you on no, they're like chains, bro. They're like a chain, like a fucking franchise. And then you have like a whole bunch of people who are just treating you, and it's just like, oh, you get a different person each time, and then you gotta go over your thing, and they don't really know your pain. They don't understand if anything's improving, because they're new and they're just trying to get you out there. It's just, and they're servicing like 5 million people at the same time, and it's a mess. But that's US healthcare for you. It's a business, and a shitty one at that. It's not even a good one. It's a good one for making profit, surely. It's not a good one for providing services or helping people or healing people. None of that. That's not a part of the framework. That's not a part of their agenda. The agenda is profit. And yeah, they're achieving that goal, so in their eyes it's working perfectly well. And then they wonder why they have people shooting people, and then I wonder why. And I do hate that whole thing, because the news has stopped covering it. They've stopped covering it, and of course they stopped, because they realized that every bit of attention they gave that boy they suspect of murdering the United CEO, United Healthcare CEO, has backfired because the public is in support of the act and are lusting over the suspect. So they're not winning, so they just gagged the whole thing. They're like, oh, no more coverage for that. No more coverage for that. Like, it's actually gone radio silence on the Luigi Mangione case. Radio silence. And I don't doubt there's updates, because, you know, there are some, like, TikTok pages and internet pages, that social media pages that update on new information about him, but those are also being suppressed by the algorithm. So it is what it is and all, but yeah, I think it's unfortunate. What they're trying to do with that boy. I don't think that guy did it. But besides that, you know, there's a lot of people in support of him. Well, they say they're in support of him. They are. But what they are, they're in support of you know, the rich and the healthcare company taking a hit. That's what they're in support of, but also they say they're in support of Luigi specifically. But, you know, the media did this thing. The media does this thing where they name the suspect and all, but they do this whole sensationalizing, and even the justice system, the NYPD, all of them, the authorities, they did the whole perp walk. They did the whole, oh, we got him. Oh, he's the thing. The mayor even came out saying, oh, he's the, like, the language there is not quite great. Because I don't think they're going to give that. I don't think they're going to give that man a fair trial. I don't think they want to give him a fair trial. Because they're sure he did it. And even if they weren't, they just want to get somebody. They just want to get somebody. They want to make an example out of somebody so they don't do it again. Don't try to attack the rich. Do not try to attack the system. Do not try to attack this. This is an act of terrorism. They want to send an example. They want to send a message, and they want to use him as an example, whether or not he did it. And they're not giving him a free trial. They're not even giving him free, like, the media. The media does this with everyone, pretty much. Like, even people who, you know, didn't do something, like non-high-profile cases, like, they report on suspects like they've already done it. Because I guess they're reading the reports. They're a part of the problem. It's this. And then the American people, they're like, oh yeah, I'm in support of Luigi, but they're just like, yeah, I support that he did it. And you don't know that he did it. The evidence is spotty. The police and the feds are saying two different things. They're presenting two different evidence, two different cases. Like, nothing's aligning. They don't have much evidence. They don't have, like, a clear-cut stamp of evidence to be like, oh yeah, we know he did it. And either way, It's innocent until proven guilty. And he hasn't had that. It's guilty. It's just guilty. It's just guilty. Even for the people who support him, they're just like, yeah, he did it. He did it, but I support that he did it. They're not like, oh, he didn't do it. Like, I see very few people questioning whether or not he did it. At first, when he got caught, everyone was like, no, the image is not the same. But over time, since the media was like, no, this is a guy. The police like, this is a guy. Everyone's like, this is a guy. The people just ran with it and said, oh yeah, that's the guy. No, not accounting for the fact that, hey, we don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. He pleaded not guilty. He pleaded not guilty. So he is innocent until proven guilty. He didn't say, oh yeah, he plead not guilty. He pled not guilty. So, it's very telling, where people's head is at. Like, people don't respect the innocent until proven guilty, but they don't respect that, not just because on an individual level people may not believe in that, but because the media presented something else. The media has been pushing a different narrative, so people run along with it because they keep hearing this thing and they keep hearing it, the crime being pinned to Luigi. So they're just like, he did it, even though at first a lot of people are like, that's not the same guy, that don't look the same. It's going to be interesting seeing how the media is going to be critiqued over during this year and years to come, and the part the media will play in propaganda and oppressing the voice of the people and uplifting the voice of the oppressors and those in power. So, tune in for that. Even the most liberal media, I don't like liberalism as a whole. I don't like liberalism as a whole. But anyways, this is too political. I'm getting too political here, and that's not what this is about. It's not what this is about. It's not what this is about. I'm supposed to be talking about personal stuff, but this is all very personal. The political is personal. But the political has been weighing on me. It has been weighing on me. A lot. It's been too much. I've been trying to avoid news, avoid social media. Avoid a lot, really. Like right now, it's 11. I've been doing this for half an hour now. And anyways, I have a book to read. I have a daily reading goal, 45 minutes a day. 45 minutes a day of reading. Right now I am reading the book Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I'm at part 2. I read a lot today in person, like the physical book, but I didn't hit my goal on the phone. And I need to hit the goal on the phone because I have a streak going, and it's the only streak I care about, because those social media streaks will try to distract you from life and from reading things you want to read. This engages my brain. This is media I want to consume. Reading books. It's great. Engages my mind. I'm learning to read, a valuable skill now in the age of illiteracy. And you know, I've always wanted to read certain classics, just because. I mean, they're a classic for a reason. Most are not shit, and especially the ones that are like non-American or just non-English, you know, works, because the international works that make their way into translated text and into the classics around the world are usually the best stuff, you know, really relevant stuff. And Crime and Punishment is more relevant than ever, especially when the crime is right on my door, and you know, people are crashing out, and I have been on the verge of crashing out, and I'm trying to not do that. I don't do that. I am opting to go the tragic optimist route and the reading and the coping in healthy ways route, because I will not be a product of my environment. It's a bad environment. It's a dangerous, it's a triggering environment. And I don't want to be like the people crashing out. I don't want to be like the people joining gangs. I don't want to be like, there's a lot of teenagers joining gangs, boys and girls. It's like, it's insane, because all of that was going down, and now it's on the rise again, and it's concerning, and I fear for the youth. I do. It's clear they feel hopeless. It's clear. Even kindergartners, they're more violent than usual. Well, not usual, but you know, they're very violent. I don't know why. There's like little kids crashing out on like I don't know. I have some theories, but it's sick that they can sense it in the air. They can sense their future is wrecked. They're on social media way too early. Their parents at home are not, well, the parents are not at home. Their parents are being overworked. Everyone has like 2-3 jobs. If they don't have any jobs, and that's also a problem, because they're probably crashing out at home too. It's like, you know, the poverty, you know, the inflation. It's like, you know, everyone is stressed. The pandemic, the breakdown of community and social relations. Like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. The kids feel it, and the kids are exposed to it with their teachers. They're exposed to it with their peers. They're exposed to it with their parents. They're exposed to it with whatever caretaker they have. They're exposed to it. They can feel something has shifted. They can feel it, and they're acting out. They don't know what these emotions are. They don't know. They don't actually understand what they're doing themselves. I don't think they realize the key source of it. That is our economic conditions. That's right, the socio-political state of the world right now. They don't understand that. They may not understand those, but they feel it. They feel it, and they see it in their immediate environment. And they're at very vulnerable ages where, you know, they're feeling all these things, and they don't know where to put these emotions, and there's no one to guide them and help them with that. And there's no real assurance anyone can give them. What assurance can you give them besides the securing their future? You know, just this week, California is burning. California is not in a good state. And it's only going to get worse. And I hate to say that. Not just California, you know, it's snowing in Kentucky. It's snowing in places that don't typically get snow. And it's hell, because these cities are not prepared for that. Not just because they never get it, but because their political leaders are not mobilizing anything to help But these things, you know, they're not taking them seriously. They're not taking these climate threats seriously. You know, it's insane. But yeah, things are hitting a fan, and there's going to be a lot of civil unrest. And that's quite clear. And that's not the part that I'm worried about. I'm worried about what comes before the civil unrest. How many people will die? How many people will become more disabled? How many people will lose family members? How many people will lose their jobs? How many people will fall on hard times? And how hard will they fall? Me included. There's a lot of strikes going on as well, and that's a bit hopeful. That's hopeful. Amazon workers are striking. You know, Amazon is a shit show as far as workers' rights go. Starbucks workers, you know, a lot of people are striking. And unionization is becoming more popular, you know. The thing is, people yearn for change. It's not great, you know, just living like this, living like a freaking pack mule, and living like a rat running a rat race. The rat race is not fun. The rat race led me into disability, and you know, because I was doing a temporary job, and this thing kind of happened gradually. I'm not entitled to any workers' comp. I'm not entitled to any of that. Like, I've been unemployed for like what, a whole year? Well, over a year now. Yeah, isn't that great? Surviving off savings, and you know, not really that. I'm surviving. Really, just that, just that, just surviving, not thriving by any means. Living off savings for like other things, you know. And the goodwill of my parents, and that's really about where we're at. That's where we're at, you know. I am yeah. So even before the disability got to a point where I got to a point where it's a disability. You know, I was looking for work and whatnot. And there simply wasn't any. You know, the amount of applications I put in, you know, I was applying for like, 6 months? How long do they give you for unemployment? I think it's 6 months. But anyways, that ran out. I don't know if it's 6 months or a year. I don't know. No, certainly not a year. It was 6 months. That ran out. The amount of applications I did, I didn't even get so much as a rejection back from a lot of them. I think I got less than 5 rejections from over hundreds of jobs. Can you imagine that? Not rejection, no rejections, no interview. Like, come on now. At least reject me. Have the decency to reject me. Like, so I know where I stand. It's like, dang, okay, so they just tossed away my application. They were ghost postings, likely. And they're not even getting real about that. Politicians don't even want to be real about the fact that ghost postings exist. No one's hiring. They're not hiring. You know what's happening? Mass layoffs. No one's hiring. They're not hiring. So, yeah. Unemployment. Gone. The next step is trying to get this disability. The next step is trying to get my MRI so I can heal, so I can go back to work, earn some money, and move out of this shithole. This shithole that is this apartment. This shithole that is this neighborhood. Hey. And it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me that I'm using the Orange Man's term that he popularized. Definitely popularized it. And it's not lost on me that I'm using that. But I do like it. I do like it. And as a linguist, I've given myself permission to use whatever word I like, regardless of who popularized or came up with it. So I don't feel like it matters that much that I use it. I got distracted by the lip gloss because it is popping. Look at that. Ooh. Candle lightiness. In another life, in another world, in another universe, I got to live the peaceful life. You know, I got to live life where I grew up in a adequately sized house, had my own room. That's been my dream for the longest. I still have never had that a day in my life. My own room. Unless you count the hotel rooms. I've had a hotel room. No, actually, I've never had a hotel room to myself. Shit. Wow, not even that. That's crazy. I'm gonna get myself a hotel room one of these days and say, hey, I had my own room for a day. You gotta make your dream happen, you know, even if it's like on a technicality, on a very temporary technical basis. Make your dreams happen and just say I achieved it and be proud and be happy for that moment. It's okay that no, it's not okay. I think I deserve better. I definitely deserve better. I deserved a better upbringing this far. I am in my 20s. I deserve better. And I want better before I exit my 20s. I don't want to be old. I know where I was like, oh yeah, you know, a lot of people don't achieve comfort or achieve their dreams or like, you know, get financially stable and so like later in life or whatever. And they use, oh, Oprah wasn't Oprah until she was in her 40s or 50s or whatever it was, or like Viola Davis wasn't this until well, I don't care about that. I want to live a certain life and I want to achieve certain things in my 20s. I want them when I am this young. I want them now, and I want them specifically now, and it's not a matter of thinking life ends after my 20s. It's not a matter of thinking I'm not worth it or I'm running out of time necessarily. It's just the fact that I want certain things now. And certain things I cannot do later. I would like to travel now. When I'm older, even in my 30s, when I'm in my 30s, that's not what I want. When I'm in my 30s, I want, not early 30s, but definitely mid to late 30s, a slower life. A slower life. I want to travel now. I want to do a lot of things now, and a lot of things that, I don't, yeah. And, I can't do those things because I am economically limited, financially limited, you know. Last year I got to live a long time dream of mine, and I was to go to Korea. I went to Korea. I went on scholarship because, again, economically limited. So went on scholarship. I did a great deal of work, great deal of writing to get that scholarship. So I'm actually very proud of that, and I was very happy in my time there, and I miss it, and coming back has not been great because my life in Korea was better. Yeah, so I had a couple of months of a different lifestyle, and it was great, and returning to my real life was not, great. It was depression inducing. Korea is just, South Korea is just better, They do urban planning better. Their capitalism is a bit better because the customer service there was great. The customer service here is shit. You'd think with companies, having the upper hand in the hiring and, hiring less people, that you'd think the quality of workers would be great too, right? Yeah. No. The customer service is shit. In fact, it's the worst it's ever been. And people are quiet quitting. They're quiet quitting. They're doing the permanent because they're tired. But also because there's a social breakdown and people think that they don't owe people common decency. Because there's no reason I should be going into an establishment. I come here with a good mood. I'm asking you a basic question. It's part of your job to answer that question. And you're being rude to me. There's no reason, I'm asking you for help and you're just like, fuck off. Like, what? I don't get that type of attitude, because even when I was working, I didn't have that attitude. I'm just like, I would never take out whatever's going on. I'm home, whatever is going on. I never did that. And even now when things are hard for me, like, I am disabled. I am crying myself to sleep because the pain is so bad. I can't do much of anything I want to do. Most days I'm very stationary and I can't do anything, because whenever I do anything, pain is triggered. But when I do nothing too, pain is triggered. If I stay stationary too long, pain is triggered. If I do things, pain is triggered. So I just, it's hard. It's a bind. It certainly is. I don't know what to do to myself half the time, but I've been trying to exercise, trying to run, and trying stretching, doing yoga, because if I don't stretch every day, the tightness is gonna, make my injury more painful. It's gonna trigger it. So I'm trying to strike a balance between moving and not moving, switching positions I'm in, doing different activities, giving myself grace when I can't do certain things that I've planned for the day, and being more flexible overall with how I get things done, and taking a step back from household chores as to not be exploited, because my labor is constantly exploited in this home. which is another reason why I don't want to live with my nuclear family. It's like, I'm not gonna let them exploit my labor anymore, especially since I'm injured. I can't even do the labor. So when I do things, I'm doing it at the expense of physical comfort, or at the expense of injuring myself further. And that's just not gonna slide. So I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Not that they really care. They don't care that I'm injured. They forget every fucking day. They forget. No one really cares that I'm this way. So I gotta figure out my own way. I am so tempted to put up a GoFundMe, fund my MRI or whatever. Part of me, since I grew up in this household, I know a lot of shame, and the shame of, not necessarily shame of begging, but the shame of, begging and then potentially not receiving any attention for my begging. Or then you see, like, maybe one person sees it and they're just like, oh, look at this beggar. This beggar's not even getting, like, I don't know. It's not a very rational thinking, but because of course a lot of trauma isn't, and my shame is very trauma based, being berated and ridiculed my whole life. So anyways, it's crazy. I do see a lot of people begging on TikTok. There's a lot of people, I see Palestinians begging desperately. And I see just your average person begging for whatever it may be, health related things, saying they're homeless or whatever the case may be, and I find it all quite unsettling, to be honest. I don't think we're, like, to the fact that we're in a state where people are just online begging just so they can survive, just so they can make ends meet. It's kind of, I don't like it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to have a government and then have that happen to people. Like, why do we have a government? Why do we elect people? Why do we bother voting? Why do we do any of these things if none of them help? If people are just going to be online begging. No. It's nonsensical. Not nonsensical, but I understand why these things are happening. I hope people see collectively that we might as well be living in with no government, with no structure, no upper hand. Why would we be living like this and have no safety net? Why doesn't the government have a rainy day fund for the people whose houses are burning down in the Bronx? For the people, this is like the fifth time there's like a building burning down in the damn Bronx. The Bronx is not doing great either with fire wise. The Bronx, Jersey, but those are like house fires. Those are like usually like lithium batteries or like space heaters or some other type of fire, not wildfires, But why do we have a government if, they're allowing companies to sell these things with these batteries and not put proper warning labels on them, or proper instructions, really, even, or just allowing this to be distributed so widely if it keeps causing these problems. And also a lot of the space heater things, it's just like people wouldn't have those and wouldn't need to get those if they had proper adequate heating in their house. But that's not a thing here in New York City. That's not a thing. Getting proper and adequate heating throughout the winter is not a thing. A lot of slumlords, basically every landlord is a slumlord in New York City, so there's like 1% who aren't. So, we wouldn't have these problems if, we had a government that made sense. This government doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why we as a collective would support something like this that doesn't help us. Because where's the rainy day fund for those people? Those people are homeless. Those people are homeless. Their house burned down. Okay? Due to no fault of their own. But they're renters. Renters don't have those rights, There are people in California, the ones who own their homes, and maybe have insurance that isn't fucking them over. A lot of insurance are fucking people over. It's like, why do you pay for insurance in the first place? I actually don't like the insurance company at all. Any of them. Not health, not life, none of them. They're all thieves, cheaters, liars. You see, I can't get a fucking MRI. So do I beg? Do I? Do I beg? And pay for this MRI out of pocket? At this point, I am gonna just look up prices for MRIs and try to find the cheapest one and put up a thingy, try to raise money. If I can get some money together for it, I'm gonna pay for it on my own. If not, well, I'm gonna wait for the insurance first, see if it gets covered. But, well, I'm not gonna wait for the insurance. I'm just gonna put up a thing or whatever. I shouldn't have to wait because I don't really have much time, I don't think. I can't let this injury get worse and permanently disable me, because disabled people die in America. Yeah, and disability insurance is a temporary thing, and also it is chump change. You can't rent off that. You can't say, like, that's not proper income. And I live in New York City, the worst. And I don't know why people are moving here. Maybe they can afford to move here, but I don't know. I don't think anyone can really afford to move here, because it's not affordable for anyone. And get that straight, it's not affordable unless you are a millionaire. Unless you are a millionaire, you cannot comfortably live here. What are you gonna rent? One bedroom, the cheapest you'll find is $1,800. And I assure you, that is not a good quality apartment. You're gonna be living with roaches. You're gonna be living with rats. Anything lower, definitely worse. You're gonna be living in a shit neighborhood at that too. It's not none of it. You're not gonna get anything good from that. You're gonna get a slumlord who doesn't give you adequate heating. It's just, yeah, not good stuff. Not anything good. So I don't know. I don't know why people are coming here. It just gets more and more expensive. I'm kind of stuck here. And with this new disability, with this new disability. Makes it hard to drive. Can't drive. There we go. I was working on that last year, getting my license. I got my permit and all. I got my permit and all. I gotta check when that expires. Got my permit. I was working on getting my license because I wanted to move out of the city, but now I'm disabled and I can't drive myself. So going to a car dependent state, which is basically every state in this, basically literally every state in this country, New York included. It's really just New York City that has public transportation, and that has been getting awful since people are getting stabbed on the subway, they're getting stabbed on the trains. Buses are not great. A bus driver, I think, stabbed a passenger. I don't know why they stabbed the passenger, but the bus drivers a passenger act as a different stories, but different incidents. But there's insane things happening on public transportation. The buses are at least a bit better. Actually a lot better than the subways. A lot better. I can't even say a bit, because they're just, but the problem with the buses are they never come on time. They never fucking come on time. Every time I'm out there, there's never any fucking bus. There's never any fucking bus. I've experienced the worst of the worst. Yeah, they send like one bus an hour. On a weekday, on a Monday, it was a bus an hour. One came at 10, like early in the 10 a.m. and there wasn't another one until 11. And before that, one came at 9, and I just can't. Like, the buses are not reliable. The trains are a bit more reliable, but every other day they're getting fucking delays. I don't know how they justify these delays. I'm like, oh, there's a train ahead of us. Oh, there's like nonsensical delays happening. I remember last year, one time I was on the damn train, and we were underground. We stopped in the middle of nowhere. They were like, oh yeah, there's some clip problem or whatever with the train. We're gonna take this train out of commission. That train was stuck on the fucking tracks. Stuck on the fucking tracks. Because they could not move the train. Something happened. Something malfunctioned with the train itself. They got these old fucking trains, and then the MTA is doing all this. Oh, they got congestion pricing. That's the worst thing that hit New York City this week. Congestion pricing, $9 to go into Manhattan. Tolls, that's like very excessive for a toll. That's quite excessive. It's not gonna work out. FDNY, saying that's not working for them. That's gonna interfere with operations. We don't need first responders. Unable to respond, unable to do their jobs efficiently. We don't need that. Because if they have to cut costs and if they have to cut corners, like, it's not gonna work out. We don't need that happening. And why would you punish car drivers? Why would you punish people? A lot of people have to go into the city to work. That's how they make a living. You can't add an additional transportation cost to that, especially with all the inflation across the board. Food, rent, everything. And that food, like, why would you do that? They're like, they're raising money. They want to raise $15 million or whatever for the MTA. The MTA doesn't need more money. The MTA needs to be audited, and they need to manage their money better. That's what they need to do. They need to stop putting police in the fucking MTA. They need to stop doing that. They spend so much money trying to fix the fear evasion, blah, 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 combat fear evasion. They spend more money trying to combat fear evasion than would be returned by busting the people who would be evading fares. Most people pay their fare. Let's be fucking. Most people pay their fare. I pay my fucking fare. Anyways, most people pay their fare. And the fare is $2.90. $2.90 is excessive. It should have never got there. It should have never passed $2.50. It should have never passed $2.50. God knows we were barely making that $2.50. I don't know how we're surviving on this $2.90 and how they want to raise it to $3. $3, $6 round trip. Who has that type of money? Who has that type of money? And they want to punish people going on cars. The MTA is not safe. People are being stabbed. There was a subway shooting, a mass subway shooting, just either a couple years, like maybe 2 years now, a year and a half, I don't know. It was not great. It's just the MTA has been increasingly violent, like increasingly random and violent attacks. People just going on the road, people minding their business. It's been the most insane shit. And then they put NYPD there, and NYPD shot at injured 3 or 4 people, I believe. I think one of which was a cop. They injured their own people. They injured their own people trying to catch one fare evader. What? A woman got burnt alive on the freaking train. Cop was there and didn't even call for backup, didn't even do anything, didn't respond, was just minding his own business, minding their business, minding their business. As if that's not their business. Just doing their own thing in their own world. While a woman was burned alive on the train. And then they're punishing people. They're punishing people with cars who are driving. You can't punish them. You can't say, oh, you're trying to make more people use the MTA. The MTA cannot handle more people. These days I go on the train and there's never any seats. There's never any seats, bro. I'm well into Brooklyn and there's no seats for me to sit in. I don't understand. I don't understand. You'd have to send the train every 5 minutes, no delays. I don't know. You need extra train routes. You need extra tracks for that, babe. They can't handle more clientele. They can't handle more clientele. So you don't want people who use cars to come on the MTA, and they're not gonna do that because, again, there's a lot of times I get ready. It takes me half an hour to get somewhere. I make sure I allot an hour of time to get there, and somehow I just make it on time, barely on time. Because of the MTA. How does that work? How does that work? How does that work? Sometimes I'm early. Most times I'm just on time when I'm supposed to be early. It takes half an hour by train to get there. Half an hour. So how am I allotting an hour of travel time and not making it there? Not making it there on time. I need answers. I need answers, MTA. Why there's always a delay? Why? Delay, service changes, random service changes. Random shit. Random shit. You never know. You're gonna get But to punish people with cars, I don't know. It could, like, they're already paying. If you're in New York City, you're paying a high ass car note. You're paying high ass insurance, bro. For a car. That plus gas. That plus any, like, bro. It's already expensive as hell to have a car, to use a car here in New York City, and to add it, slap an extra freaking price tag, an extra charge, an extra bill on top of having a car. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right, especially since the MTA is not safe and it's not reliable. It's not safe or reliable. You can't expect people to use that. You can't expect people to use that. It is what it is. It is what it is. It isn't what it is. It is what it is. Just because that's what it is. Because that's what they make it. I don't think the MTA needs more money. I think they need to manage their money well. I think they need financial literacy. How about we gift the MTA with financial literacy classes like they do poor people? The poor people don't need financial literacy. They need finances. Hello? Audit the MTA. If the MTA wants money, they need to stop funding the police. Defund the police. Stop employing them. Okay? All your money. What are you using? Stop replacing the turnstiles to stop evasion or whatever. Because these new turnstiles are actually easier to fucking cheat. They're easier to cheat. So they just waste a whole bunch of money replacing the turnstiles just to make more like easily exploited turnstiles. I feel like they're just doing this, you know. I don't know. Is it that they anticipate all this fare busting will generate more money with those $100 fines you're gonna get if you're caught evading fares? Do the numbers work out that way? Is that why? So like they're like, oh yeah, all the money we're gonna spend employing the cops, all the money, you know, because I'm pretty sure, you know, all the money we're spending with the cops, on the turnstiles, what, all those will be buffered by the $100 tickets we gonna give people when they evade fares. Plus, if they're getting more money with congestion pricing, why would they be raising the fare as well? How much money do they fucking want? These greedy fucking bastards. How much money do they want? How much money does the MTA want? And they had a whole hiring fair. That thing was circling around the block, and they wasn't fucking hiring. They wasn't fucking hiring. At least not at that fair. They was not hiring on the spot. They was not giving you an interview. They're like, one lady said, oh, they just showing you a screen and showing you where to apply online. So why would people come in person? You know what? I don't even know what went on over there. They was in a whole church, and it was a whole bunch of people. And like, I've seen some new bus drivers and stuff. So they are hiring, but they definitely oversold how much they were hiring, and definitely tricked those people on those lines, because I don't think they would really get into people like that, like getting into everybody and doing interviews on the spot that day. Though that's what a job fair is supposed to be. I guess nobody knows what job fairs are anymore. Every time you see a job fair, like I'm telling you, I go to these job fairs, the virtual ones, the in-person ones. They're like, we're hiring. You go through these rounds. Maybe you even get an interview, you get a round of interview or whatever. They're like, we're going to call you back. They're going to like, no, fill out this application online. You know, I'm going to put a star on your thing or whatever. And they never get back to you. You just waste your time. You just waste your fucking time. You just waste your time. Job fairs are a scam. The online jobs are a scam. Like, all of it is a scam. And no one's really hiring. And if they are, if you don't know somebody already in the company or whatever, like, you know, you need a referral to actually get back an interview. You need to know somebody already up in there, you know. I want to try cold interviewing, like cold messaging people on like LinkedIn or whatever, asking for referrals and stuff, but I can't work. I was really looking for jobs I could do, jobs that wouldn't irritate my shoulder too much, my injury too much, but I couldn't find any, because most jobs I usually do involve a computer or they involve manual labor, and I can't do any job involving those two things anymore, at least not until I get this thing fixed, if it is fixable, which I hope. Keep our fingers crossed. Don't want to be disabled in America permanently, because, you know, it's already been a year. I'm not doing well, but that's a topic for a different day, like how my mental health has suffered since becoming disabled, how my self-worth and self-esteem and my hope in my future has changed since becoming disabled, how, you know, reluctantly I even identifying myself as such, and how anxious I am to leave this label and be able to be self-sufficient, especially since I don't have a lot of support anyways. It's like, it's not great being disabled and, you know, even having support. So imagine being disabled without support. You know, I don't really have a lot of emotional support. I have one person, and that's about it. One person tries to help me, one person who, you know, hears me out and tries to understand and is kind and gives me grace and stuff. But that's about it. And I guess that's where I'll pick up next. Been talking for an hour and a half almost, and it's time for bed. I'm tired and my throat is dry, like the throat is scratchy. It's getting gravelly, groggy. What is the word? See? Running on E right now, mentally, cognitively. My throat hurts. So we're gonna pick up on disability and discouragement next episode, as well as an update on the week. I intend on doing these things maybe once every week, so we should have like about 50 some by the end of the year, though not pressuring myself too much. But that's that, and good night. Politics and pimples, though I did not talk about the pimples. Peace.